Hi everyone. Today I'm going to make a video about how to use CricAPI or its new form, which is Cricket Data. So as you guys know, back in 2015, 16 sometime, I had made this video which shows how to use CricAPI. But things have changed. They shut down because of COVID and various other things, and uh, this is gone. So I'm going to take down this video in some time, and we are going to be putting up this new video about cricket data. So let's start with the basics of what is cricket data. So if I understand right, what these guys do is they give you data in an API format. So this works really well for programmers. It's meant for programmers because I don't see anybody else who would use this. Those who want to just see the score, they're going to go on maybe ESPN or whatnot. But so I'm a programmer, so I like to look at stuff in my code. So uh, I have gone through the website in reasonable detail. I've not used all the features, so I'm just going to show something simple like grabbing the scores of the current running match or something like that. So we'll just go here, and what we have here is they've given simple steps like how you're going to get sign up, get your API key from the member area. So now I've signed up. I kept the window open here, but yeah, so I just have to click this and it'll grab my API key, I guess. So yeah, there we are. Then the next step is this is the link for live cricket scores, and I just have to put my API key out here, and I'm supposed to get the data in a particular format. So I'm just going to try this out. Bear with me. You can see what I'm doing here on screen, of course. And this is supposed to give me current match scores. So what does it tell me? This is a little hard to read, so I'm going to put this on JSON lint because that makes it easier to read. Paste it here. Validate. Yeah, there you see, it's easier to read now. Okay, so this match, yes, it's today's match. This is UTC or GMT time zone. So 11:30, which means this match was about 5 hours back. Um, between Zimbabwe and South Africa. This is the runs, wickets, overs. So basically, I can grab this right because it's JSON, simple format, straightforward. They've got some other things. I'm not going to go into all that right now. I mean, I know what it is because I looked through it, but I'm not going to cover it now. They have the IPL also, of course, which is right here, which is awesome. Uh, so current matches seems to include. It's not just today's matches. There's also like I'm guessing 24 hours, something like that. Yeah, and that's it. There's only three current matches as far as this is concerned. So now we have the data, right? I've consumed 1 credit out of my whopping 500 credits today. So now what I can do is I can just grab this URL and I'm going to save it because that's what I'm going to do. So how to find cricket data? So we went to the website, right? And then what we did is we figured out the basic stuff. Basically, we signed up and whatnot, and this is the link on which I get current matches. So then we fetched the data, of course, and we got this JSON output. Confusing here, simple here in this format. Now what it basically gives me is there's this data element that I need to query, and there's a JavaScript JSON array that I can then pass. So it should be simple enough. So what I'm going to do now is show how to use this in a few different languages. So I'm going to start with JavaScript because the output is, of course, JSON format. Okay. I'm going to hide my notes on this page, and yeah. And we can now start fetching this data inside JavaScript. So we'll use the very popular window.fetch. This is a PHP file. I'm not going to program PHP right now. So I'll just make a new file here and demo.html should be fine. We'll run this in our server. We have a running server out here, which is and yeah, we open demo.html, and yes, of course, the output's blank because we have a blank output. It's an empty file. So now it should show basically whatever I've typed there. Now we'll copy this over. So as I said, the first demonstration I'm going to do here is it's going to be in JavaScript, and the right way to do things with plain JavaScript, I'm not talking about jQuery, is to use window.fetch, and then you put in the URL that you want. You do a then, and now we're expecting a JSON output from here. So I'll just say okay, so that is the first step. So this will convert the result of this URL into JSON format, and now I will have this JSON data available to me here, so I'm going to make use of it. This is an arrow function. Don't be confused by this. You can also write it as something on these lines. It works the same way, so don't be confused by that. We should make it a point to catch, right? So in case there is some exception, so let's see eek, and again arrow function, just put it to the console. In fact, with this also, let's just dump to the console. Right, so now we have a script in place. We have this URL which we have checked, it works. It gives a particular output. We are converting it into JSON here. Then we see the output in JSON. We can process it here. We have the any errors if they happen, that will be caught here, and that's pretty much it. Now I'm going to refresh the output here. Okay, it's blank, but that's sort of what we expected, right? Because we said console.log, and when we open the console, I hit F12 to open the console, by the way, and we can expand this. You see the data is basically more or less matching what we'd seen here. There's one less match because I think it's been more than 24 hours since the 48th match, so this one's not showing up anymore, but the information that I've received is basically the same. So I have this here, date time GMT, some other miscellaneous info. I have the score here. This is relevant to me because what I want to do here is I want to show the score. Okay, and so this is an array, 2 elements, 4 scores in total to show. Simple enough. Now we have the output. We can do something nice with that. Now I'm going to make a div here where I'll be showing the scores. So I'll just give it a name, score div, something like that, and we'll say document.getElement. So I'm going to compile the relevant content into this variable here, and then that variable is going to show up on screen. So I'll have a nice output to look at. Okay, it's not going to be nice the first shot, but I'll have some output to look at. So we know that JSON data, this object that we have here, we know that it contains my information is not at the top level. It's inside this data object. So I'm going to say data dot for each. And what is it that we receive here? We receive this is basically matches that we receive, right? So you have, say, M for match. Each match will have a score object. So there can be a situation where a match has started and the score is not yet recorded. So you could have a situation where the score object is blank, or well, I don't know, it could be null, it could be an empty array. I don't think we should make a judgment on that. So we should try and cover for that specific use case. So I'm going to do that here, not filter, and again with the arrow function. I only want to pass things that are valid. So if M is non-null and M has a valid length, so I'll then come into the for each loop. So in case I receive a null score value or I receive a blank array, it's not going to proceed to the next function. So that's fine. That's exactly what I want. What I need to do now is the match contains scores, of course, right? So I'm going to parse the scores using this is a very standard format, R, W, O, and inning. So I'm going to convert this into something like the inning. I'm going to put the inning first, okay, because then it'll show up something like let's do the IPL one, so this is more fun. So yeah, I'm going to do something on the lines of, okay, so I'll put the inning first, then I'm going to put a colon, and then I'll have the runs, which is 160, a slash, and the wickets, and then I'll put the overs in brackets. So I think this should work well for me. So the format I then need to create for this is there'll be, of course, inning, and then I will have a colon, R for runs, forward slash, then the wickets, and inside parentheses we'll put in the number of overs here. Right, so this is my JavaScript format string, if you want to call it that. And there's other ways to do this. I'm doing it this way. So that's that. We will be using the map method. Okay, so I have m.score.map, and for each score I wish to return a certain output. So I'm going to assume that you know how the map method works. It's beyond the scope of this video, but I might cover it in future. Otherwise, I recommend you look up how the map method works. It's a very nice method. It saves a lot of time, saves a lot of effort. This is a small piece of code. Just say if I had to do this in a different manner, it might have cost me more effort. So what I'll get from this is a line that will sort of be like that. But now there are two scores. If there are two scores here, which in our case is true, this would simply combine both of them like that without any gap or any space or anything in between. So what I need to do is I need to then put something there which is appropriate. So I'm going to join this using a line break, and this result is good enough to put into the result text. So I think this should give us the right output. I'm going a bit fast here, I know that. So if you need to at any point of time, just pause the video, look through it, no problems. If you have any questions, you can ask details about that in the comments below, and I'll try and answer you as soon as I'm able to. This sort of sample code, I think, is also going to be available from the Cricket Data team side. So you should be able to also maybe write to them, contact at Cricket Data, and get some info out of them. But yeah, for now you can just have a look at this. Uh, yeah, I've saved my code, and now let's see what this looks like. So I have the output here, but I don't seem to be seeing anything. My score div is empty. Let's debug this. So we'll add a debugger, and we're now going to refresh this. So obviously it's going there, fetching the data, coming back here, hitting the debugger. Let's step to this. I'm using F10, the F10 key on the keyboard to step through. We're here, we have this, we're here, and it looks like it's skipping the whole thing. So is there an error in my code? I have valid data here, that shouldn't be a concern. I seem to have missed the exclamation point, so I'm gonna add that here now. Okay, and you see the outputs come here. So this is sort of what we expected, right? South Africa versus Zimbabwe, and Royal Challengers Bangalore versus Chennai Super Kings. So this is all right. It's not perfect, but it's all right. What we'll now do is because I'm passing all the scores right here, so I can actually put this into a nice wrapper or something. So maybe I'll put it into a div. JavaScript is not white space sensitive, so I could put a space or a new line and it's going to work correctly either way. So now refresh that. And you see this is come into separate lines. Just to make this more prominent, I will also add a bit of styling here. Showing an error at this point. Let's see what that is. We have the map method. We then do this, which is fine. This gives me a text output. The semicolon is unwanted, of course. Okay, so as you can see, I have now converted this information. This is the latest one. This information from data from scores from this format into a much more readable, much more standardized uh, format here. So we could also do things like figure out who's won the match and all that, because this information is available. It's not available here right now, but this information can be fetched from the API. So I'm not going to get into those details right now. For now, all you need to know is the API works. It gives you scores. You can show the scores in a certain manner on your screen. I'm only going to cover JavaScript today, so this is where our tutorial ends. I might do additional languages in future. I was planning on doing PHP. Maybe I will also do Python, C Sharp, and maybe VB.NET, because I've personally been using Basic for a long time, so I'm quite fond of it. So I'll be doing one in VB.NET as well. For now, this is all we have. Please be careful, don't use this API key. Sign up and use your own API key, because this is a temporary account. I will be asking them to deactivate the account and destroy the API key. So uh, I guess that is that. So thank you everyone for watching the video. Please do subscribe. Please do comment, share your questions. We're always here to help you out. Right? Thank you very much for watching.